Good morning. It's Tom Padula from TomPadulaTV and on YouTube, of course, and Insegna Booksellers. I am, very pleased, in fact, to be doing this canto this morning, Canto 31 of the Inferno by Dante Alighieri. And that means that after today, we will be another 3 weeks and we'll have finished Inferno. All the sins of the world have been punished by then, and there's resurrection after that, and we'll go into Purgatorio. Now, before we go to Purgatorio, we'll spend just a couple of times, maybe a week or so, on the Inferno, since we got the election coming up now. Just been announced that it will be a federal election on the 21st of May 2022, and that's very interesting. And that gives me an opportunity, maybe, to actually do one of my specials that I promised that I would do. I would start the specials. They'll start at 11:25 any day during the week. So if you check Tom Padula live on Facebook at 11:25 each day, you might get a surprise, and we'll get one of those specials fitted in. I will keep up with Dante's, Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso. Let's hope that the health is good, etc., 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 eccetera, eccetera, eccetera in Italiano. And also, the world history is going okay, but I've noticed too with the world history that because now I'm moving on with it, people do get bored. So at the end of the day, these lessons, presentations are just there as podcasts, and anyone who wants to access my work, they'll be able to do that now and into the future, because I also, we transfer them to YouTube and Insegna.com and TomPadula.blogspot.com and much more eventually. I don't know how the journey continues, or what happens. We take it day by day, but make plans for the immediate future and the longer term. And isn't that what we all do? Yes? The other important part is that I need that contact with people. So I'm encouraging people come on to listen to Tom Padula live on Facebook, to actually, and even later, to actually contact me. Where I am, Insegna. You can write to me, insegna@bigpond.com. That's the way, with emails, etc. So that's another one. And today I'm also going to do another 2 poems from Amica Poesia, Poetry My Friend, both in Italian and English. And then I have quite a few. I did a rehearsal. We record these things as well with Dora Marchese and, of course, Rino Marchese. And, it's quite a trio Lugano number 2. Maybe that's a good number. So what happens with the songs is that some of the songs come out really well, and some of them are just sort of in transit, going from one to the other. The ones that we don't do very well, we then tend to do again later on. So in other words, the rehearsal part continues until you get it right. And that's what happens with professionals. They don't get it right straight away. They need rehearsals, but without some sort of passion, love, you don't dwell on these things unless you really are interested in it. And that's what I'm discovering too, that each individual has particular goals in life, particular interests. And therefore, it's very hard for everyone to follow someone else continuously. It's very difficult. Even the fans of sporting fans and musical fans, they tend to be, during the course of their lifetime, things change for them as well. So we've got to remember these. These are the things that we'll be doing. Now, I was just remembering. I've got my Amica Poesia, the poetry that I'm reading today, is Sulla spiaggia and Fine e Principio, which will be the end of the actual chapter in Amica Poesia, the second chapter. And then we'll go on, we'll see what happens. Okay, so almost there at Canto 31. A big one here. It talks about giants. And what do you think about giants? Well, and this is the 9th circle of hell. Here we go. Okay, it's 11:30. A bit of water first. Okay. Canto 31 of Inferno. Canto 31, ove tratta dei giganti che guardano il pozzo dell'inferno ed è il 9° cerchio. Okay? Let's have a look at I giganti, these giants that we meet here. I giganti sono la personificazione della superbia, pride. You know, the personification of pride is the giant. Nel mito antico, infatti, si erano ribellati agli dei, dando l'assalto all'Olimpo. They attacked Olympus, where the gods lived in ancient times. La rivolta contro l'Olimpo è analoga a quella di Lucifero e degli angeli contro Dio. So Lucifer and the other rebellious angels did the same thing to the Christian God. Dante plaude means he praises, plaude alla natura, o looks in nature, che ha interrotto la loro creazione. So he congratulates nature for having interrupted the creation of these human giants. Perché usando una forza smisurata all'uso dell'intelletto rappresentavano un pericolo contro il quale non esiste difesa. So if these giants had also used their intellect as well, there would have been real problems. I don't know. I think they would have had to work it out as well. Just the size really doesn't matter, whether you're a pygmy size or, a different size. Giants, if they're gentle giants, I don't know. But this is what, the mythology talked about. So, balene ed elefanti con la loro stazza sono assai meno pericolosi perché privi di ragione. So because the balena and the elephants, they've got a little bit of intelligence, but not as much as the human intellect. That's a fact. The animals do have brains. There's no doubt about it, because they can do quite a lot of things when they're trained. Again, but it's the initiatives that people take. But the animals too have initiative in order to find food, and except if they are in nature and they are not interfered with. Okay, so that's one. We meet 3 giants, 3. In this canto. So let's have a look at, I'll start. And if you have the book in front of you, by the way, this week I received from Italy a copies of Purgatorio and of Paradiso. So if anyone wants to talk to me about it and you'd like to have copies, I've already put the Inferno online, so you'll be able to order it if you want to. But Purgatorio and Paradiso will come soon, in the next couple of weeks. I hope. Never know. But I have them, so if anyone comes to see me and wants the book so that they can follow the podcasts, most welcome. Let's go. Una medesima lingua pria mi morse, sicché mi tinse l'una e l'altra guancia, e poi la medicina mi riporse. Così, o Dio, che solea far la lancia d'Achille e del suo padre esser cagione prima di trista e poi di buona mancia. Noi demmo il dosso al misero vallone su per la ripa che il cinge d'intorno, attraversando senza alcun sermone. Quivi eran men che notte men che giorno, sì che il viso mandava innanzi poco, ma io sentì suonare un altro corno, tanto che avrebbe ogni tuon fatto fioco, che contra sé la sua via seguitando, dirizzò gli occhi miei tutti ad un loco. Now, up to this point here is the description of Dante going from Canto 30 to Canto 31. So they're leaving the 8th bolgia of the 8th circle of hell, and they're going into the 9th circle of hell, and this says, una medesima lingua pria mi morse, sì che mi rise l'una e l'altra guancia. So these, the notes here are not in the book that I have, but a lot of the books that I have also have notes about all these other bits and pieces. It's impossible to do it here when I first introduced the canto. This will be able to, you know, that's where the study comes in. Okay, so he's saying that, you know, he was coming down, and non era né giorno né notte, you know, in other words, it's almost all'alba, prima dell'alba, because don't forget, we're getting to the end of this 9th circle of hell, and then we go down to Canto 34, where there is Lucifer, and then we come out. So you come out from the darkness into the sky. So there's still the darkness here, still at night. And apparently Dante wrote this during the period of Easter, which is coming up now. Dopo la dolorosa rotta, quando Carlo Magno perdé la santa gesta, ma non sonò sì terribilmente Orlando. So here refers to Orlando, one of the knights of Charlemagne. He was in the Pyrenees, stopped the Arabs, the Muslims at the time, from conquering the rest of Europe, because they got to the Pyrenees and they were stopped by this famous corno. Corno, it's a musical, you know, a musical instrument as well, because you can emit very long sounds. Poco portai in la volta. Poco portai in là volta la testa, as I turned the head, che mi parve vedere molte altre torri on Dio. So he turned around and he said, oh, Jesus, there are so many towers here. Are there more castles? But he can't see them very well. So he turns toward his guide, his maestro, and he says, Maestro, che terra è questa? My guide, maestro, my teacher, my guide, tell me, what sort of land is this? You know, this is the land of the Inferno. Ed egli a me, and he to me, però che tu trascorri per le tenebre troppo dalla lungi, avvien che poi nel marginare abborri. Tu vedrai ben, se tu là ti congiungi, quanto il senso si inganna di lontano, però alquanto più te stesso pungi. Poi chiaramente okay. So he said, listen, Dante, from far away in the dark, you can't see a lot in front of you. So therefore you can imagine things that are not really what they seem to you. So watch out, you know, just take it easy. Just go and let's walk on and you'll find out. And he sort of, no, it wasn't un rimprovero. He wasn't telling Dante. He was just saying, listen, this is how it is. And then, of course, he's been pretty tough with Dante in the last canto. So he says, listen, here's what he says. Poi caramente mi prese per mano. So the guide took him by hand like a child. Caramente. So in other words, after he told him that they could have been, that he was wrong in his estimation of where they were and what it was, he took him by the hand. As said, and he said, prima che noi siamo più avanti a ciò che il fatto menti paia strano, sappi che non son torri ma giganti e son nel pozzo intorno dalla ripa, dall'umbilico ingiuso tutti quanti. So there you are. He says, look, before we go down, okay, before we go any further, so that it, you know, this situation mightn't appear to you so strange. Be it known to you that these are not towers but giants, and they are giants that come out of el pozzo, of the well of hell, because they are around the well, because the well is right down, but they protect the well. So there are 3 giants around the well. And they are halfway. You can only see half, the top half of their body. So up to the umbilical cord. Okay, so you can only see them. You can't see the bottom half. And then now, before we go any further, will I do it? Yes, I will. Let me read you Nemrod. This is the first of the giants that we meet. His name is Nemrod, Nembrotto. Here we go, the note. Secondo I padri della Chiesa, Nemrod concepì il folle progetto, il malcoto, di costruire la torre di Babele, commettendo così un grave peccato di superbia. La torre, infatti, sarebbe dovuta essere così alta da raggiungere il cielo. So this Nembrotto worked out that he wanted to build a tower that would reach the sky and would reach the gods. It was an act of pride against the gods. Dio punì l'umanità con la confusione delle lingue. So God punished humanity as a result with the confusion of languages. In other words, that's my business. Saying, look, there are diverse tongues in the world. There are about 10,000 local languages, even more. But there are, some real major ones, and some ones that you can't understand a word from each other. If you take the Asian languages as against the European languages, Middle Eastern languages, and then the Hindi and the African languages, you get a lot of confusion here. So God punished humanity with this, because obviously the giants were building these towers, the Tower of Babel. Now, prima di questo evento esisteva solo l'ebraico. Wow. Before this event, in other words, of God punishing humanity, the only language that existed was Hebrew. Interesting, huh? Il linguaggio perfetto creato da Dio stesso. And the perfect language created by God himself. Wow, that's something. It's a big statement by Dante. He gave, before the Tower of Babel, there was only one language, and it was Hebrew. It's a good one, huh? Inerme ai margini del pozzo del Cocito. Now, this is il pozzo, the well of Cocito. Cocito is the last river of hell, down the well, of course, and it's all ice, like in the North Pole and Southern Pole. It's all ice, il Cocito. Il gigante non è più in grado di capire le parole che gli sono rivolte e parla una lingua incomprensibile. So this giant Nemrod does not understand the language that, let's say, the guide, Virgilio, is going to be talking to him, and neither does he make sense when he talks. Dalla sua bocca esce solo un balbettio privo di senso. So from his mouth, you can only hear some words that don't make sense to anyone. Nemrod porta con sé un corno da caccia. So he's got with him corno da caccia, hunting. I just had it before. Hunting corno. Jesus. Corno. Never mind. I can't remember. Corno da caccia, hunting. What is it? Anyway, never mind, look it up. Secondo la descrizione della Genesi, according to Genesis, in cui è detto valente cacciatore davanti al Signore. Valente cacciatore. So he was a valiant hunter when he was with God. So this is Nemrod in the 9th circle of hell. Welcome, Assunta Lombardi. Very pleased to see you on. You're the only one so far, but of course these podcasts remain. So it's important that I can keep going. And I will be finishing off with the Inferno in another 3 weeks after today, which is great. So we just said that Nimrod was un valente cacciatore davanti al Signore. And we also note from these notes here, we note that Hebrew was the language before, the only language in the world before the building of the Tower of Babel. Well, that's the note here. Okay, so let's have a look at what happens to Nimrod. Where are we? And I'll just go back here a little bit. Poi caramente mi prese per mano e disse, ok, that's Dante, prima che noi siamo più avanti a ciò che il fatto menti paia strano, sappi che non sono torri ma giganti e sono nel pozzo intorno della ripa dall'ombilico in giù tutti quanti. Come quando la nebbia si dissipa, lo sguardo a poco raffigura ciò che cela e il vapor che l'aere ristipa. Così forando l'aura grossa e scura, più e più appressando ver la sponda, fuggimi errore e crescimi paura. So Dante, he said, as he went further in, his fear increased. The corno is the horn, so the hunting horn. So I remember, all right? So il corno is the horn. So listen to this. Però che come sulla cerchia tonda Montereggion di Tor si corona, così la prode che il pozzo circonda, torreggiavan di mezzo alla persona gli orribili giganti, cui minaccia Giove del cielo ancora quando tuona. So Jupiter still, throws them thunder against this hunting horn. E io scorgeva già da alcun la faccia, le spalle, il petto e del ventre gran parte, e per le coste più ambo le braccia. So he saw this giant with his hands, etc., huge. Natura, certo, quando lasciò l'arte di siffatti animali, assai fe bene per torre tali esecutori a Marte. So he said, nature did the right thing, the Mother Earth did the right thing by stopping the growth of these giants in the world, because they would have been a real challenge for Mars, the god of war. E sella d'elefanti e di balene non si pente, and even though, of course, nature has left the whales and the elephants, which are big animals, in other words, they use a lot of resources. He says, non si pente, la natura, Mother Nature didn't, not worried about them, because chi guarda sottilmente più giusta e più discreta l'ane tiene. So if you don't have the intellect of the human intellect that grows and becomes a real danger, when the intellect is minimal, there's very little danger to the gods. Che dove l'argomento della mente si aggiunge al mal, volere e alla possa, nessun riparo vi può fare la gente. No one can protect people from the giants if they're also very smart and very clever. So it's a real problem to have giants, And so we get this in David and Goliath. You remember that? The story in the Bible? So these are the sort of stories that come back, and writers do a good job with them. Dante did a very good job with this. La faccia sua mi parea lunga e grossa, come la pina di San Pietro a Roma, e a sua proporzione erano l'altre ossa. So I said, this is the, la faccia, la pina di San Pietro a Roma. I have to check this up as well, but this is about Rome. It says, la faccia sua mi parea. His face appeared to me lunga, long, e grossa, and big. Okay? Come la pina di San Pietro. I assume it's like the tower, the cupola of San Pietro a Roma. A sua proporzione erano altre, and in its proportion was his other limbs, if you like. Sicché la ripa, che era perizoma, dal mezzo in giù, ne mostrava ben tanto di sovra, che di giungere alla chioma 3 frisonze verien dato malvanto. Però chi ne vedea 30 gran palmi, dal loco in giù, dov'uomo affibbia il manto. So he says, a description again of the actual body coming out of around the well. Don't forget, Dante writes l'Inferno after he come back to earth. He remembers all this. So there is a, you know, on one hand he's il viaggiatore, he's the traveler through the various circles of hell. On the other, he remains the writer who writes about his memories and who accesses other stories from the past, like the mythology and the Christian theology, etc. And so the giant now sees them. When he sees them, he says, Raphael, Maya, Mekhes, Abigail, he can't understand it. Cominciò a gridare la fiera bocca, cui non si convenia più dolci salme. Nice words, you couldn't calm him down. Virgilio would never stand a chance against this guy who doesn't understand. E il duca mio ver lui, anima sciocca, tieni col corno con quel ti disfoga quando dire o altra passion si tocca. But Virgilio, of course, even though he calls him anima sciocca, okay, look after your horn, your hunting horn. Don't worry about this. Cercati al collo e troverai la soga che il tien legato, anima confusa, e vedi lui che il gran petto si doga. So, he is cercati al collo, so in other words, concentrate e troverai la soga che il tien legato. So there's something that's holding him back. He's being held back. Legato, he's tied up. Can't move. That's the punishment for the sin of pride. The sin of pride, if you think about it, when somebody's proud, they don't move from their position. They're arrogant. But more than arrogance, pride is a really, pride is one of the biggest sins that can be had by humanity, by humans in general. Poi disse a me, and then he can't, of course, Nembrotto can't understand what Virgilio is saying. But then Virgilio turns towards me and says, egli stessi s'accusa, he's accusing himself. Questo è Nembrotto per lo cui mal coto pur un linguaggio nel mondo non s'usa. Lascialo stare, non parliamo a voto. Let us leave him and let's not talk, as if in emptiness, because he doesn't understand. Neither does he understand us. Che così è a lui ciascun linguaggio come il suo ad altrui che nulla è noto. So the two things, the listening part and the understanding part, they don't mix in this case. And we do that amongst ourselves too. Sometimes people say one thing and the other person doesn't understand at all, even though you might speak the same language. And I experienced this in Italy. When I spoke Italian to the Italians, sometimes the cultural aspects, we didn't understand each other at all, come from different angles. So it's present, this problem is present. Facemmo dunque più lungo viaggio volti a sinistra, so they went to the left, e al tardo un balestro trovammo l'altro assai più fiero e maggiore. So I turned around and you see the other giant. Accigne lui qual che fosse il maestro, non so io dir, ma il tenea soccinto dinanzi l'altro e dietro il braccio destro, d'una catena che il tenea avvinto dal collo in giù, sì che in su lo scoperto si ravvolgea infino al giro quinto. So he had catena, he had the chains all around him, this one here, and he could not move. That's it. And Dante, questo superbo volle essere esperto di suo... And then the explanation. But before I read that, I'm going to read you, this guy here is called, this the second giant is called Fialte, figlio di Nettuno e Ifmedia. Fialte e Fialte fu uno dei giganti che si ribellarono agli dei, sovrapponendo due monti, l'Ossa e il Pelio, per scalare l'Olimpo, finì per essere ucciso da Apollo. So this particular giant it took two mountains and add them to each other in order to reach Olympus, the top of Olympus. And so Apollo, I think Apollo is it's like Mercury. Yeah, I think it's Apollo, it's Mercury as well. So he sort of killed him. He can't come up here. Bang. And then, of course, the soul keeps on living and it's being punished with being chained. Near Il Pozzo, the ninth circle of hell, where there is a well that leads into the bottom pit of the well where Lucifer is. Qui sul bordo del Cocito. Il Cocito is the last river of hell. Fregetonte, you've got to remember the other ones. And we do that when we come back to looking at the whole of the Inferno. I'll be able to do that really on the 24th of April because, because that'll be the last, the week after will be my last lesson, presentation of Inferno. And I will be at Federazione Lucana for an hour and a half. So if you come there, I'll be able to talk about the Inferno in more details as a whole. And, we start a bit of a discussion. Ok, qui sul bordo del Cocito Fialte è incatenato e reso inoffensivo, così come il resto dei giganti, per prevenire qualsiasi ulteriore tentativo di ribellione. Is stopped by the gods with the chains, so there's no more attempts to rebelling against gods. For Dante, whether it's the gods of the past or the Christian God, it didn't matter. The sin of humanity is the same. This doesn't matter which God it is, as far as Dante was concerned. A bit like Papa Francesco, John Paul II. They sort of went above the Christian theology and embraced the other religions as well, which is a good thing, really. All religions should embrace the other religions. It's important. They don't have to follow, but you've got to respect each other. Okay, so let's have a look at let's read some more. I better hurry up because I'm a bit late today. Okay, but from now on it's easier. Questo superbo volle essere esperto di sua potenza contro il sommo Giove. Disse il mio duca, ond'egli ha cotal merto. Fialte a nome e fece le gran prove quando i giganti fer paura a dei. Le braccia che il menò giammai non muove. E io a lui, se esser puote, io vorrei che dello smisurato briareo esperienza avesse gli occhi miei. Ond'ei rispose, tu vedrai Anteo presso di qui che parla ed è disciolto, che non porrà nel fondo d'ogni reo. Quel che tu vuoi veder più là è molto delegato, è fatto come questo, salvo che più feroce par nel volto. So he says, Dante says, can I talk to him? And he says, no, you can't, because, this one here is incatenato. But further down, there's the third giant. His name is Anteo, and also he looks more ferocious than these two here. He's actually not punished in the same way by gods with the language or the chains. Non fu tremoto già tanto rubesto che scotesse una torre così forte come Fialte, a scuotersi fu presto. And so these giants were causing a lot of noises. Allora temett'io più che mai la morte. And so Dante becomes a bit afraid of, la morte nell'inferno. E non v'era mestier più che la dotta, se io non avessi viste le ritorte. Noi procedemmo più avanti a lotta e venimmo ad Anteo, che ben 5 alle, senza la testa, uscia fuori della grotta. Welcome Angela, Imela. O tu che nella fortunata valle che fece Scipion di gloria reda, qual d'Annibale co suoi diede le spalle, recasti già 1000 leon per preda, e che se fossi stato all'alta guerra dei tuoi fratelli, ancor par che si creda, che avrebbero vinto i figli della terra. Mettine giù e non te vegna schifo dove cocito la freddura serra. So, now I'm going to read you the note of Anteo. It's an important giant, this one here. Il gigante Anteo era figlio di Nettuna e Gaia. Gaia is Mother Terra, e Nettuno is the god of the underworld. La dea della terra. Sfidava chiunque passasse dalle sue parti. Dopo aver sconfitto le sue vittime, staccava loro la testa e la appendeva davanti alla propria abitazione. So this giant here, when he used to chop off the heads of his victims and put them and sort of put them in front of his caverna, where he lived. Pensando di costruire un tempio dedicato al padre con i suoi trofei. So he said, I'm going to build a church for Neptune, his father, who's a god. Era considerato invincibile, he was invincible, ma Ercole, avendo scoperto che Antea traeva la sua forza dal contatto con la madre terra, Hercules, the human guy, the hero, and you can see, he said, this guy here, where was it? In the scriptures, there's the one, the giant who has his hair cut. In this case here, Hercules lifts Anteo up, when he was alive, and chopped his head, because Anteo could only work if he had a foot on the ground, on Mother Earth. So lo sollevò, he got him up, privandolo in questo modo delle sue risorse, and lo stritolò a morte and killed him. Isn't that bad, huh? And the other thing too, Anteo posa Dante e Virgilio sul fondo. Okay, we'll read that after. So let's go. Tu vedrai Anteo presso di qui che parla ed è disciolto, che non porrà nel fondo d'ogni reo. Quel che tu vuoi vedere, più là molto è legato al fatto che, salvo che più feroce parla il volto. Non fu tremoto già tanto rubesto che scotesse una terra così forte, come fialte a scuotersi fu presto. Allor temett'io più che mai la morte, e non vera mestiere più che la dotta, se io non avessi viste le ritorte. Noi procedemmo più avanti a lotta, e venimmo ad Anteo, che ben 5 alle, senza la testa uscia fuori della grotta. O tu che nella fortunata valla che fece Scipion di gloria reda, quando Annibal coi suoi piedi le spalle, recasti già 1000 leoni per preda, e che se fossi stato all'altra guerra dei tuoi fratelli, ancor par che si creda che avrebbero vinto i figli della terra. Mettine giù e non ten vegna schifo dove cocito la freddura serra. So Virgilio talks to him and says, Anteo, you are lucky that you lost against Hercules, because otherwise it would have been worse for you. Because then, it would have been bad if you guys from the earth would have won against the gods. Now, do me a favor, because we're traveling through here. You got to bring us down to Cocito, downstairs. You got to put us down the stairs, because you can. You can't go down a well, but the giant can just put his hand, and go down. Non ci fare ire a Tigio né a Tito. Questi può dargli quel che qui si brama, però ti china e non torcerlo grifo. Ancor ti può nel mondo render fama, che il vive e lunga vita ancor s'aspetta, se innanzi tempo grazia a sé non chiama. I just realized that Virgil in this case here says to Anteo, listen, bring us down, because this guy here is alive, and he's going to make you famous when he gets back to earth, because, if God wills it, and he lives a long life. Well, Dante died at 56. He didn't live too long, did he? So this is the one. Ancora si può nel mondo rendere fama, che il vive, e lunga vita ancora aspetta, and he expects long life. Se innanzi tempo grazia, se innanzi tempo, il tempo, e a sé non chiama. And if time, his candle is snuffed out. Unbelievable. Così disse il maestro, e quelli in fretta le man distese e prese il duca mio, onde Ercole sentì già grande stretta. Here we go. Antea pose Dante e Virgilio sul fondo. Antea non partecipò alla ribellione dei giganti, perciò è libero da catene ed è in grado di comprendere le parole di Virgilio. Questi dapprima lo rabbonisce, enfatizzando le sue doti di cacciatore e la sua forza, poi gli diede di posare lui e Dante sul fondo ghiacciato di cocito o cocito. Not sure. Cocito o cocito? Maybe should be cocito, because there's no accent on the O. Anteo si ciba di leoni. Anteo viveva in una caverna nel deserto libico. Secondo il mito era un grande cacciatore di leoni, dei quali era solito nutrirsi. He loved lions. They were his, people con la superbia, the lions, So he fed himself with lions. Again, it doesn't talk about this here. Very good. Virgilio quando prende si sentì disse a me. Okay. So he took them by the hand, and Virgilio quando prende si sentì. When Virgil was taken by Anteo in his hand, said to him, fatti qua, come here to Dante, sicché io ti prendo, so I can take you. Poi fece sì con fascio era egli a io. And he made it like, like we were one. Like a mother with his child, on the back, etc. Qual pare a riguardare la carisenda sotto il chinato quando un nuvolo vada, sovresto sì che della incontro prenda, tal parve ante a me che stava a bada di vederlo chinare, fu talora chi avrebbe voluto ir per l'altra strada. So it's like, he was this guy from le nubi, from the clouds coming down. Whilst he was going down, Dante was felt as if he was being lowered. But he was full of fear as well, of course. Ma lievemente al fondo, lievemente, che divora Lucifero con Giuda, al fondo cocito, che divora. God punishes Lucifer and Judas. Iscariote, ci sposò, né sicchinato li fece dimora, e come albero in nave si levò. So once he put us down and brought us to near Judah, in Judah, the traditore di Cristo, that's the next punishment. And Lucifero against God. So he brought him down to Cocito, e come and like a tree in a ship, he got up, e si levò. And that's the end of Canto 31. The next one is 32. Oh, wow, here we are. Maybe I'll just show you some of these pictures here. Just let me show you these ones. This is Anteo. That's what he loves to eat. This is Fialte, and these two are Virgilio and Dante. They walk, and this is Anteo. Hercules picks him up off the ground, and there's one more, and this one here is Nemrod. Okay, so that's it. Now from Dante Alighieri we go to another guy that I don't know. I know well, but do I really know him well? I'm still discovering who he is. His name is TomPadula, yeah, and he wrote this poem here called Sulla spiaggia. In questo ventoso, lucente, radiante giorno, sulla spiaggia si vedono di tutti i tipi, di tutte le età, di tutte le forme, di tutte le misure. Ci sono piccini che timidamente si avvicinano ai riflussi delle onde in arrivo, I bambini più vecchi sono attratti dalla sabbia, ne fanno di tutti i tipi di costruzioni, alcune semplici, alcune elaborate, ma tutte fatte con profondo intento. Gruppi di adolescenti sono coinvolti con gli sport nazionali della stagione, il cricket o giocano a frisbee, pallavolo, calcio. I loro occhi sono spesso attratti da alcune ragazze in parata che felicemente si sono dimenticate della loro lotta femminile per una condivisa uguaglianza. I ventenni stanno o correndo o mettendo in mostra i loro ben messi corpi tesi, come dei pavoni sulla sabbia, sicuri di sé stessi. I trentenni e qualche cosa si trovano con mogli e bambini che guardano i piccolini, usando i loro occhi guardiani, di genitori infatuati. I giovani abbronzati di ieri sono i camminanti di mezz'età di oggi. Camminano soli o in due o in tre o in più, mostrando i segni dello sfacelo. Ci sono soltanto alcune eccezioni e queste sono apparenti solo per le loro pretese. Poi vedi quei cinquantenni o sessantenni, tutti indipendenti, trasudando un'aria di sicurezza, di acquisita conoscenza personale. Sembra che non si curino degli altri e si preoccupano di se stessi e della loro compagnia. Qui e lì gli altri settantenni fanno un'apparenza stimando consapevolmente i gruppi di ogni età, immersi nel proprio umore di spiaggia. Quando andate la prossima volta a Lawn, guardate questo gioco della vita umana esposto davanti ai vostri propri occhi. Io sono sicuro che continuerò sempre a manifestarsi ogni anno proprio come le onde che si gettano addosso alla costiera. Now I'm going to show you this picture here. There you are. That's a picture of La Spiaggia. And now I'm going to, and then there's also this other poem called Fine Principio. I've got to pick up the pages here, 85. Here we go. Okay, let me read you this one here, Sulla Spiaggia in English. It's on the beach, and I actually, let me have a drink. Here it is, on the beach. Yeah, this is what the pages of my book look like. See? Okay, on the beach. Let me read it so that I can. On this breezy, bright, sunlit day on the beach, you see all types of all ages, of all shapes, of all sizes. There are the toddlers shyly approaching the reflux of incoming waves. Older children have a thing with sand. They make all sorts of constructions, some simple, some elaborate, but all made with deep intent. Groups of teenagers are involved with summer's national sport, cricket or play frisbee, baseball, soccer. Their eyes are often attracted by some girls parading quite happily, forgetful of their feminine fight for shared equality. The 20-year-olds are either running or showing off these taut, trim bodies, like self-assured peacocks on the sand. The 30-something are found with spouses and children, looking after the little ones, using their watchful eyes as doting parents. Yesterday's bronzed youth is today's middle-aged walker. They walk alone or in twos or in threes or more, showing signs of decay. There are only a few exceptions, and these are noticeable only by their pretense. Then you see those in their 50s or 60s, all independent, exuding an air of security, of acquired self-knowledge. They don't seem to care about others and look after themselves and their company. Here and there, the over 70s make an appearance looking on knowingly at each age group, engaged in their own beach mood. When you go next time to Lawn, behold this game of human life displayed in front of your very eyes. I'm sure that it will always continue to manifest itself each year, just like the waves pounding into the shores. Now that's a beautiful poem, and it applies when you go to the beach, especially to the large parts, to where there are a lot of people, you can see this game. It's a game. And now this is the last poem called Fine e Principio. Okay, and I'm going to let you read it as well. Okay, here we go. Come on. Fine e principio. È venuta la fine per poi cominciare di nuovo un altro ciclo. Come il cielo s'annuvola e piove, poi schiarisce d'un tratto, come la neve sull'alto del mare, arriva al suo porto, per poi salpare un'altra volta. Come il bimbo che cresce a casa, poi diventa adulto e va via, per poi ritornare quando è pronto. Okay, that was the Italian one, and now I'm going to show you the English. There you are. The end and the beginning. It came the end, to then begin again, another cycle. Like the sky fills with clouds and it rains, then it clears up suddenly, like the ship on the high seas reaches its port, which then sails once again. Like the child who grows up at home, he then becomes adult and he goes away, to then return when he's ready. And that's the end of my school life. The next one is school life. Okay, so that's a beautiful. That's two. And of course, I always have problems. Maybe you can look at these pictures of the books whilst I'm doing what I have to do. Oh no, it's here. It's here. These are the books. 1 and 2. Okay. Now let's have a look. We are here. Oh, it's fantastic. We are here. There you are. I went to see Dora and Rena the other day, and we sang quite a few songs. Here, let's go and enjoy ourselves now. These are the Italian songs that we sing. There's Rena and me. He's wearing a hat as well. Un cappello, cappellino. Here we are. That's the first one. Here we go. Oh, another wonderful afternoon. Every time I come here, I feel very happy. I feel like, I would like to give some rose rosse to somebody, but in this case here, we're going to sing it. Rose rosse, Massimo Ranieri, ci perdoni, ma almeno ci ricordiamo di queste cose qui a Melbourne, ok? Allora, andiamo avanti, eh? Go. Vai.
Cosa voglio da te? L'amore non si muore e non mi so spiegare perché muoio per te. Da quando ti ho lasciato sarà perché ho sbagliato, ma io vivo di te. Ormai non c'è più strada che non mi porti indietro, amore sa perché. Nel cuore del mio cuore non ho altro che te. Forse in amore le rose non si usano più, ma questi fiori sapranno parlarti di me. Rose rosse per te ho comprato stasera e il tuo cuore lo sa cosa voglio da te. D'amore non si muore, ma chi si sente solo non sa vivere più. Con l'ultima speranza stasera ho comprato rose rosse per te. La strada dei ricordi è sempre la più lunga, amore sai perché? Nel cuore del mio cuore non ho altro che te. Forse in amore le rose non si usano più, ma questi fiori sapranno parlarti di me. Rose rosse per te ho comprato stasera
Wow, that was good. Now, the next one is going to be interesting because it's really...
Now, this song here is called La Nostra Favola, but in English it's Delilah by Tom Jones. However, looking at the words, the Italian lyrics are totally different from the English ones. The English one is about somebody who murders someone. Delilah dies at the hands of her lover. And in Italian, instead, she becomes La Regina. So there's a bit of a difference here, and I would like to do both sides. So after this introduction, I'm going to sort of let it go, and we'll start with the Italian version first, and then the second one. So study this. This is a very beautiful song where the music is renowned, and the Italian lyrics go really well with the English ones, except they're totally different content. Okay, well done to the people. Testo italiano di P. Dossena and testo originale e musica di Les Reed and Barry Mason. So thank you very much to you guys. You've done a wonderful job, and we're going to sing your song, and hopefully there won't be a problem with any of you. Okay, okay.
Okay, so we're going to do La Nostra Favola. Welcome, John Geronimo Alvarez. Beautiful. Hopla. Here we go. La Nostra Favola.
The Italian one,
Delilah.
which is called Delilah in Italian, is the lyrics are La Nostra Favola. We go. C'era una volta un bianco castello fatato, un grande mago l'aveva spiegato per noi. Sì, io ti amavo, tu eri la mia regina ed io il tuo re. Mai, mai, mai ti lascerò. Mai, mai, mai da sola. E per noi mai niente più cambierà. Tu sarai sempre regina ed io il tuo re. Quattro pareti tu giudice del fumo ed impegno. Questo è il castello che io posso fare per te. Sì, tu mi ami, come se fossi per te un errore. Mai, mai, mai ti lascio. Mai, mai, mai da sola. Per noi il tempo si fermerà. Tu sarai sempre regina ed io il tuo re. Come se fossi per te un vero re. Mai, mai, mai ti lascio. Mai, mai, mai da sola. Per noi il tempo si fermerà. Tu sarai sempre regina ed io il tuo re. Tu sarai sempre regina ed io il tuo re.
Now, that's the Italian version. The English version is coming up right now. Here we go. There you are. Let's go. Up. Wait a minute.
And of course we do the English
version of La Nostra Favola, the original Delilah. Let's go. Okay. Break of day when them men drove away, I was waiting. I cut her to sleep at the house and she opened the door. She stood there laughing. I got a knife in my hand and she laughed no more. Well, that's a bit of a study in terms of, in terms of music, because you can do it in Italian, English. It's great. And now the next one is one that I think, I used to use. Not quite sure. I'll see what happens
This
now.
next song is called Sicilia Antica.
Sicily.
Sang by Marcella originally, and I used to actually play this in my classes in the 80s, so a long time ago, but it's just a beautiful, beautiful song. And, it's a real treasure of Sicilian, for Sicily, because it represents that land so well. Okay, so that's Sicilia Antica. We're going to play it soon, now, after this.
Okay, let's go.
Sicilia Antica, d'ora comincia. Amare ciuri, nascisti tu, terra d'amori, non mori più. Campi di grano bruciasti dal sole, tu mi lasciai prima amori. Sicilia antica, illumi cori, quante ricchezze ravvieni tu. Facendo riti, occhi impieguti, mani rotoli, e tanto calori, è la mia gente che canta per niente, è la fatica che fa contenti. Sicilia antica dello mio cuore, quante ricchezze ravvieni tu. Amare ciuri, nascivi, figlia di terra non ci si più, mi liscia tutti di antica terra di sale, come l'amore non torni più.
Well, it's 11:30 and 12:30 actually. 12:30, 11:30 is when we start. But it's been another wonderful hour for me. I love it. It's the actual podcast is coming together well with Dante and my poetry and also the songs. So, you know, coming back, you can listen to these podcasts later. And I've announced it so many times for this week. I would like to thank each and every one of you who follows me live, and also if you come and watch the podcasts, I much appreciate it. They are for you, and for me, my job is done for today. Thank you, arrivederci, alla prossima settimana, prossima domenica, quindi ciao da Tom Padula from TomPadulaTV on YouTube and Insegna Booksellers. And now we'll go live on podcast, and you know it'll be available in a few minutes.